You heard the rest. Now here's the best. Stay Tuned Sports Podcast.
And hello there, all you Stay Tuners. Welcome back to another episode of Stay Tuned Sports. Kind of an episode. We're going to have another Best of Volume 2 this week, since there wasn't really too much MMA talk news other than Dana White saying that he has a new venue for the Tony Ferguson Khabib fight, but will not announce it yet. So I mean, there's really nothing to talk about. But before we get into these past segments that we've had over the past year, head over to Twitter, follow us there at ST Sports Podcast, as well as our Facebook and YouTube pages. Subscribe, like, share, do all that. Also, head over to staytunedsports.net. Click the follow button there, and every time we release an episode, you'll automatically get an email to let you know that there's a new episode out there that you could, start listening to. And I want to give a quick shout out to the Stay Tuned Sports racer Scott Crump, who won the Homestead ERSCA Pristine Auction Series last night, which we actually did sponsor the race, and he won. He came in first place. He was just a monster. If you guys go over to YouTube, look up sim.tv, and if you look for the Pristine Auction Series, it's race 5. Very interesting esports type thing. iRacing. The NASCAR guys just did this past Sunday afternoon. It's only, hour and a half, hour or so, but it's very entertaining to watch, especially with all the other sports kind of being on hiatus right now. So this first segment that we have here is me and O'Brien talking about Josh Gordon being suspended again for, this time, PEDs. At that point, it didn't really come out that it was weed or anything, and Shoulders will be back with me this week, and we're I'm gonna bring this up to him about the CBA with the weed being taken out of consideration for any type of suspension. So here is me and Shoulders and Lexington Tell-All breaking the news about Josh Gordon being suspended.
What? We interrupt this program with breaking news. This just in. Moments ago. We now go live to our reporter.
Lexington Tells All here, folks. How are ya? Breaking news. Josh Gordon suspended for PED Wait, this is breaking news? Oh my god, he did it again. He's suspended for PED substance violation. Pete Carroll was quoted on ESPN as saying, "We saw Josh really at a really high level, but it's unclear what substance he abused." Well, in other breaking news, the Pro Bowl selections were made. And to much demise and excitement, Colin Kaepernick has been selected as the starting crybaby. But it's still undetermined if he will kneel or not. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Lexington. I was quite surprised about Kaepernick not going to the Pro Bowl and getting first string kneeler.
I know. It's just crazy to me, Hey, first string crybaby's nothing to bat an eyelash at.
I mean, the second string receiver for crybaby was Antonio Brown. He actually made, we were talking last week about no white girls 2020 or whatever.
Right, he tweeted it.
He actually made a GIF of himself, president poster.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, I meant to print it out and show it to you.
Yeah, we'll have to put that up on the website. But Josh Gordon has PED substance. Yeah. Now I read the story in depth. I feel for the guy. But what's really aggravating me on the story, and maybe the rest of our listeners, is it just says PED substance abuse. It doesn't say which.
Yeah.
And it doesn't say for what.
Well,
and another indefinite suspension.
Yeah. Now, when I first saw that, I thought that was both. I thought it was PEDs and obviously weed. I mean, that's what he's been getting suspended for.
Right.
But talking to a couple buddies of mine at work and stuff, they said that's how the NFL has basically any abuse, PED abuse.
But the other ones, we knew it was weed.
And
he failed and tested positive for marijuana. So why is this such a hush-hush secret? Right.
I don't know. Because, like, as far as, like, say, UFC fighters, UFC or Dana White cannot comment on what it was or this and that. Even the USADA can't comment on...
I'm going to fill out a right to know form. This is bullshit.
Until the fighter comes out and releases a statement basically saying, I tested. So basically, I would say that's what Gordon has to do, is come out and say, yeah, I fucked up again, blah, blah. Here's
here's my question to you. If it wasn't marijuana, which was his problem, and it ends up being something stupid like Golden Tate with his pregnancy drugs, or some fucking thing in a pre-workout, when are they going to leave this guy alone?
Well, the fact that he hasn't come out, period. I mean, that's already showing that he's guilty. And
really?
The interesting part here's another thing.
You came out of the closet. Are you guilty?
The other interesting part of the story I saw was he got suspended last year with the Patriots. I think the last 3 games, December 16th. He got suspended this year, December 17th.
Well, listen, the holidays are tough, bud.
That's what I'm wondering. Is it a trigger?
But again, so you're telling me he doesn't have somebody in his entourage that's going to stop him from doing this?
No, I mean, if there's a will, there's a way. Basically, if he wants to smoke weed every day and play
let me ask you a question. Would this be a problem if he was on the Denver Broncos team?
I mean, it's a good point. I mean, the NFL says, you're not supposed to have marijuana or anything in your system, but he's playing or living in a state that
it's
is
legalized.
Now, baseball just either just did it or they are taking it off in the next couple months that marijuana will be okay for players. Yeah, marijuana will be okay for players, but they're putting on that they're going to get tested for cocaine now. They never got tested for cocaine before.
Well, how do you think Darryl Strawberry had a freaking career?
Well, I was going to say, back
the White
then,
Gooden.
I thought maybe
the Cocaine Brothers.
I thought maybe after those two guys, they would have freaking put...
Jesus.
But
Darryl Strawberry was out on the freaking foul line snorting the fucking chalk. Why do you think he was running in the outfield? Over here! Jesus.
But yeah, no, and the 5th time. I mean, obviously, he has to be done now.
Does he? Why? I'm going to play devil's advocate. So 5 times, why can't he be 6th forgiven?
Well, and I text my dad, hey, you see about Josh Gordon? I said, this is his 5th time. I said, he's got to be done. No, NFL has the 10 indefinite suspension rule.
Oh, God. I just want to see the kid play. He's doing better for himself. His career's going down the toilet.
Yeah.
It's like watching Ricky Williams all over again.
Yeah.
Like, something's got to be done. And I know we've had this talk, and we all know our views.
Yeah.
It is what it is, but it's just, I can't believe I read it. I thought I woke up in a bad dream.
Yeah.
So,
I saw it on Facebook or something. I had to make sure it wasn't like The Onion or some stupid ass, and no, it was CBS. I think is the one I saw, which had the December 16th,
maybe
December 17th.
He was drinking too much of that decaf Metcalf, and he needed something to help him out. I don't know.
So to bring him back down because he was awake.
I don't know. Just roll up it, Jimbo.
But yeah, like you said, I mean, he's 30 years old now. I can't see him. I mean, who?
It bothers me is he videotaped anywhere smoking it? Did he get arrested? Like, I'm sick of it already. Let the guy play.
And that was me and Shoulders talking about Josh Gordon with his past problems with weed and stuff like that. And I'll be curious to see how his future goes in the NFL now without have to worry about being suspended because of weed. So this next clip was right after the Miami Dolphins game with the Philadelphia Eagles. And obviously, if you guys have been listening to us since we started recording together, you obviously know how big of an Eagle fans we are. And this clip just shows the frustration we had after that game. On top of a little bit of argument between me and him with the DK Metcalf and JJ Ortega-Whiteside. So here is that clip right now. And yes, folks, there's a new intro there to our very popular podcast show, sports show, whatever you want to call it. So, yes, it's your good friend Jimbo here, and unfortunately, no, I can't play that with you. We got O'Brien here, back-to-back weeks.
Hola, amigos.
And Juan.
It is I, Juan. I am taking over this show. I came on here to tell you something. Check out what I got for my ringtone.
Oh, okay. Oh, you got shit for your ringtone.
Hey, get out of here! Hey, stop that horse shit. That team sucks this year.
But amigo, I'm trying to be your friend.
Get out of here!
Oh, I just figured it out.
It's me, O'Brien, back. Goddamn punk. How does he do that?
Is Juan out of beer?
I guess. He
Because
must be one of
knows
us.
I drink, so, and you drink very little.
Jesus.
Liquoring me up.
A guy goes to take a piss and he jumps in my spot. I don't understand what's wrong with him.
I'm just trying to be your friend.
Well, you know what, Juan? Thank you for that intro, for coming up with it. It was very, very cool and off the wall.
Oh, thank you, senor. I just don't know how I got so deep.
Oh, I could tell you, but that is for a Patreon account that we have.
That is a different show.
I don't even know why we do this with him.
So already 20 seconds into the show, it's already off the rails.
Yeah.
So how you doing, buddy? Well,
good. How are you?
Minus Sunday. Let's take that all out.
But, I mean, let's just get into this because I'm so aggravated. Yeah. Now, we had our discussions, okay? Mm-hmm. And we thought of Miami, of all people, we couldn't beat.
Yeah.
So our offense shows up and puts up 31.
Yeah.
And how did we lose, Jimbo?
Basically, schoolyard football.
Yeah.
Throw it up and catch it.
The defense allows 37.
And here's the thing, too. The really messed up part, 3/4 of that defense, I say we blame. Defensive line, right. They showed up. You got to admit, they were getting pressure, they were getting sacks.
I mean, I like Ryan Fitzpatrick, but he ripped us apart.
Because all he did was throw it up Devontae, just Randy Moss it. That's all. And after the first time, you'd think Jim Schwartz would have been like, maybe I should put a little taller cornerback on him.
No, he was like, hey, wait a minute. This is the Dolphins.
Yeah.
At the end of the game, he's like, I figured it out. Game over. Oh, shit. Like, I was like, so pissed off. Like,
yeah.
Again, and I know you said, well, once again, if they get in the playoffs, it's any given Sunday, blah, blah, blah. I get that.
Yeah. I don't want to get
terrible.
In the playoffs. Yeah. And you know, I did give us a chance up until the freaking Madden Play of the Year, the fake field goal, fake whatever you want to call that. Because I don't even know what to call that play.
Right.
That the punter threw a touchdown to the fucking kicker.
I know.
No one decided.
It was like a shuttle underhand off his knee.
Yeah.
It was garbage.
I mean, obviously it had to be legal because they didn't throw no flags or anything, but...
Well, who knows what these refs... But
exactly. I mean...
as of that week, it was legal.
Yeah.
But I
mean, the wife was upstairs wrapping Christmas gifts, and the oldest's birthday was last week, but she came down, and she's like... And I'm just laying there on the couch, just numb. And she's like, how you doing? And I just looked at her, I said... The punter threw a touchdown to the kicker. And she goes, wait, what?
Yeah.
She's like,
are you drunk?
I know I'm somewhat new to football, but I thought the quarterback throws the football. I said, that's where we're at this season.
Right.
She goes, okay, I'll go back upstairs.
And again, I wasn't overly impressed with the wide receiver corps. Sorry.
No.
And it gets into my other debate. We had the debate about DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
Okay. And you said, oh, what has he done this year? Blah, 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 blah. And I said, okay, smartass. So what would be a good season for a wide receiver?
For a receiver, like
how many yards?
Nowadays, 1,200, 1,500.
Okay, 1,500.
Yeah.
Okay. Usually the 1,000-yard mark is an average.
Average, okay.
Not for one, not for starting receiver, for wide receiver 2.
Okay.
So 1,000 yards, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me hit you with a little facts there, okay?
Go ahead.
Because you're so high and said he sucks this year.
I didn't say he sucks. I said he's slow now. He hit a rookie wall. He was very good in the beginning of the season.
No, I don't think he hit a rookie wall. We'll just put it this way. I'm going to do this. So we figure each team has at least 4 wide receivers that start and play average.
Yeah, I mean, you got to figure it out.
So 4 times 32.
Jesus Christ. 120, 132.
We'll just say we're going to keep it easy for everybody. 130 receivers that legitimately play and should be on a ranking. So the top receiver being number 1 and the 130th receiver is still an active player, not counting the 5th and 6th receiver sometimes that catches balls and all that other crap. Okay?
Yeah.
So let's just do this. Receiving yards a game, okay? He's ranked 33rd.
Okay.
Receiving yards a game.
Okay. How many yards a game?
That's number 1 second receiver.
Yeah.
Up to date. This is to this minute right here.
Okay.
Okay? Then we have, we'll say, total yards. He is
now again, you're saying
27th.
he's a number 2 receiver.
Right, but I'm just saying, your comparison was he's not that good this year. So he's 27th in yards. He's above, okay, Larry Fitzgerald, Devontae Adams, Cole Beasley, Randall Cobb, A.J. Brown, Emmanuel Sanders, Tyreek Hill, Will Fuller, Jamison Crowder, and I can go on. Okay, so he's there.
4 or 5 of them missed substantial amount of games.
Okay. And now, then we have, let's just go receiving touchdowns.
Let me just stop you there then. And
receiving touchdowns.
Well, hold on, let me ask you this then. So let's do the hypothetical. And JJ got drafted by Seattle and we drafted DK. Do you really think he'd be playing over Aguilar right now, knowing how these coaches
But when he gets in, he would make the best out of it. I think he was better than Whiteside. But here, let me finish this. This is the last category.
Okay. Go ahead.
Receiving touchdowns.
Okay.
The number 1 receiver in the league is tied for 3 people with 9.
Okay.
Okay, that's Chris Godwin, Kenny Galladay, and Marvin Jones Jr.
Yeah.
Okay? He's ranked 22nd.
Okay.
With 5. Currently tied with, it's a long list. Tied with Jarvis Landry, Julian Edelman, Stephon Diggs, John Brown, Keenan Allen, Allen Robinson, Cole Beasley, and let me make sure I didn't pass. Okay, so we got a couple more. Tyreek Hill and a couple other guys.
Yeah.
T.Y. Hilton. Okay. So you're telling me out of that list you wouldn't take any of those receivers?
Oh, I mean, I would take Tyreek Hill, but again, he was hurt. Jarvis Landry said he has 5.
Right.
Yeah,
but we're talking.
I'm pretty sure he had the 5 against the Eagles this past Sunday.
I'm just saying, though, but the thing is, well, no, because he's on Browns with Odell Beckham.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
But my point is, 22nd,
but you're
tied with all those people.
Yeah.
And
but you're comparing a number 2 receiver to a number 4 receiver because that's where the coaches have him.
Who?
JJ. This argument between me and you have always been.
I'm saying
I
you don't
want
think
JJ.
he would have been a better draft choice.
Maybe. And maybe not. Maybe JJ would be the DK if he got drafted by Seattle because of how they use DK compared to how we use
He only
JJ.
has like 40-some receptions.
Because he's the number 2 receiver, which means he gets the second look.
There, he's actually listed as 3 on Seattle.
Who's their second receiver?
Tyler Lockett and the other guy. I'd have to
Bobby
look up.
Boucher?
Yeah, Bobby Boucher. Yeah.
But even if, okay, again, JJ is pushed down that lineup now. Now, granted, last week was the first week without Jordan Matthews. JJ got his touchdown, plus had a couple catches. Not really that matters, but with Matt Collins being
another bum,
unrightfully cut from the team. Now all we got to do is get rid of Aguilar.
They have Josh Gordon.
That they just picked up.
Like 5 weeks ago.
Oh, 2 weeks ago.
No way.
Yeah. maybe 3 tops. Because everybody wants
Philly. And David Moore. He's a good receiver, too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I think DK would have been a better pick. It's my opinion.
And talent-wise, maybe. But if the coaches don't use him the right way, like JJ...
But how are they undoubtedly... Like, we know that JJ's drop passes, and he's had some struggle issues getting open when he was on the field. Correct or not?
Yes and no. There was a couple passes that, even though I'm a Wentz defender...
I'm just saying ones that he could have caught that dropped.
Yeah.
And he can't get open.
Yeah.
He hasn't gone open.
Okay.
That's the biggest complaint about our whole receivers corp, correct?
Yes, as a whole.
Right. So DK comes in as the second and third and gets open with his opportunities.
And also, JJ, again, like I said...
And how many 50-50 balls would he have won?
Well, I mean...
We can't speculate. Obviously, it's a different offense. I understand that. But I don't see how you can say you would rather JJ. I know you love him.
Yeah.
You're an Eagle. You're an Eagle through and through.
I think these next couple weeks, you're going to see a little bit more production out of him because of all those people that should have been...
So how many weeks is left, and he needs like 200 yards to go over 1,000, DK?
How many weeks are left? This is week 14.
Right.
So you got, 3 weeks left?
Right.
And how many yards does he need?
Like 200.
So roughly 90, just say 90 yards a game. No. 60.
We'll say 75.
70, okay.
That'll put him at 225.
Well, then he's no good. He's got to be 200. Even.
Oh, my God. All right, folks. I don't know what else to tell you. I tried hitting this
I mean, again, just with how these coaches are using this offense.
Right, but we put up 31 points with the scrubs we have.
We did.
And our defense failed. That's not my point. I get it.
One of the touchdowns.
But I just wanted to say that I truly believed in DK Metcalf.
Yeah. And, I mean, you always said it. I'm not, bashing you for it or anything. It's just that...
Right.
I just think the roles, if he was here, he'd be in the same role situation.
See, I think he would have outshined. I think he's a little more of a go-getter and was hungrier than JJ. JJ seems to be complacent.
But even if he showed that he was hungry and everything,
and
he's
the
not
stupid penalties he's taken.
Sure, that wasn't Max Hollins?
No, it was JJ. He did it the one game. He took away a touchdown from us for.
Yeah. Miles Sanders' first touchdown, the holding penalty.
Regardless,
that was the only time I really
There's a couple others, I'm telling you, man. But I mean, I didn't pull the stats, so I can't argue it.
But I do, since we're talking about stats, whatever, I've been saying this about 4 or 5 weeks now. If we pass 40 plus times, and again, I don't know if you're losing
I agree.
faith.
We need to run the ball.
Yeah.
And I want to know, do you have the history on what's wrong with Jordan Howard all of a sudden?
For the past, how long has he been out now? 2-3 weeks? They've been saying a stinger.
A stinger, yeah. My ass.
But now they're saying shoulder, which I guess would be the same basic
3
thing.
weeks, man.
Yeah.
Another one.
But even that, Miles Sanders this past game.
He looked great. I'm not saying, I was, who wanted Miles?
No, I know.
I was excited.
This is why I don't understand. And then some jabroni fucking Philadelphia writer said that, the running game couldn't get going. They were averaging 5 yards a carry. How much more can it get going? Off of
I agree.
Off of 19 carries
There's
total.
questionable offensive calls, period.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Some of these gimmick plays, I don't know when you say gimmicks. It's screen, over the middle pass, long pass, screen, run it up the middle, it up the middle. Like, there's no... listen, we're Eagles fans.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love screenplays. I think they're one of the coolest plays out there, and they could bust for big plays.
Right.
Only should be used if your quarterback doesn't have time to throw the ball.
Right.
If they're blitzing or if the front four is getting through. But
it seems like we go to it a lot. It's almost predictable.
Well, Seattle, the one linebacker came out and said that our plays are predictable. They were calling the plays out even before they called
right. Them. Doug Peterson's got to step up and get this going.
Yeah. And
to me, the biggest disappointment this year is him.
Yeah.
And I can't knock him. He won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I get it.
And I think the Super Bowl is the only thing that's saving his job right now.
Right.
I think that buys him another year, maybe 2. So, yeah, it will be interesting to see how the Eagles fare this year, if and when we get the season back. And is Doug Peterson on the hot seat, being that he doesn't have the wide receiver coach or the offensive coordinator to fall back on. So this last segment, if you guys remember back to about beginning of this past hockey season, some stories started coming out about coaches abusing physically and mentally their hockey players. So me and Shoulders go into it a little bit with our opinions about it as well. I mean, just like always. And I'm curious to see how you guys feel about it. So after you guys listen to this segment, head over to Twitter, ST Sports Podcast, and leave us your comment if you agree or disagree with our feelings about this. So here we are talking about coaches abusing their players mentally. Are they out of line?
Play that funky music, white boy. What'd you call me?
So there's been this past week or so.
Hockey.
This past week or so, there's been stories coming out of coaches basically abusing players, and whether it's verbal or.
I thought I'd never see the day where hockey turned
really
into their safe place.
You know, and here's the thing. Here's my opinion about it. Verbal part of it, depending on what the words were. Like if you're using racial slurs like that, yeah, to me you shouldn't be using that stuff.
Right.
But if you're like, you dumbass, you're offsides. Like, come on.
Yeah, my Pee Wee football coach used to say worse.
Yeah.
And his name was Dumpster Dan. Because he had like a garbage business. I swear to God.
Thank you for adding that end part there, because it sounded like freaking Foley from Saturday Night Live. I live in a van down on the road.
Yeah, pretty much. And he looked like he collected garbage. No offense to garbage collectors.
But the one story that came out was came out in the New York Post with Sean Avery saying his former coach Crawford physically hit him and stuff like that for too many. Like the one incident he talked about was it was too many men on the ice, and as soon as he came off the ice, he started verbally abusing him.
How was that again?
But he said that he didn't even have him serve the penalty, and sure enough, they got scored on. Came down and kicked him in the butt, which left a mark. I swear he quoted that. It left a mark.
To me, though, it's not the only coach. There's a bunch of teams coming out with this all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Why all of a sudden?
Because one of the former players is
hashtag Me Too?
Basically.
Jesus.
Trying to bring awareness to mental illness for hockey players and physical illness or something like that. Like you said, it's the
same guys that get their teeth knocked out of their mouth and play the next 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, here, we'll put this on ice for you. Thank you. And they go back out and play. Like, they're some of the toughest guys in the world. I don't get it.
So, obviously, this is going league-wide, and teams are investigating it. The Calgary Flames.
Who they got? Mr. Magoo investigating?
Hey, he's cool, man. Leave him alone. I heard Juan likes him.
Or the hamburger guy? I'll gladly pass this investigation if you give me a hamburger on Tuesday.
But like I said, the Flames coach was the first one to admit to it and then be fired. And
so he was literally on fire!
And I believe...
Well, I'd be abusive in Calgary, too. What the hell have they done?
That's true. And then...
What'd he say? You guys are a bunch of flamers! Well, yeah, Coach.
We're so going to lose listeners.
I was talking about flaming fire.
But the Seattle GM, who the team hasn't even played yet, he's under investigation because he was on the Flames when this happened, and he may have knew about it.
That's why he left and started his own team.
Yeah. Now, the Flyers' assistant coach, Tyrion, I think Mark Tyrion?
Yeah, Tyrion.
The Flyers came out and said they're not investigating him because...
He's one hell of a model American.
Well, he did admit that, he didn't admit it, but some of the players, his former players, did come out and say, yes, he was one of those type of players, but they've seen him change his ways, and now he's not
physical.
What kind of world are we like? If we go to another world war, we're screwed.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going out there to fight.
I need my 20-minute break.
My drill sergeant yelled at me.
We're gonna need like a safe space in the war zone.
Yeah, I'm time out. I'm over here. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, again, if you don't want I could see sexual abuse or like physical abuse. All right, I get it.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna, if you're in a high intensity sport, and if I'm like, get it together, asshole, and you're like,
yeah,
like, then don't play.
And
don't make the millions.
Yeah.
Get off the ice. I don't know.
And that's why I wanted to bring this.
I guess I'm just a hardened prick.
Well, I mean, to me, no. I mean, I'm taking this the same side as you, because, like I just said, say you make a bad play and I call you a dumbass. You're gonna go cry to the league now?
Right.
Like, again, if the coach drops the N-word, like where
right.
this all
I mean,
started,
there's lines you don't cross.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
If we still have to teach people that in today's age, then. But if you're a goddamn moron, what are you doing? Like.
Yeah.
It's kind of expected. Like, these coaches are under high pressure, so are the players. You're
Yeah.
going to tell me no players ever called the coach a name?
And that was another point I was going to bring up. Like, say Coach A comes up to you and calls you a dumbass, and you lean over to me as he walks away. He's a dick. He's a prick. Well, you're just as much in the wrong as he is then.
Right.
But
I didn't say it to his face.
And that's what they'll say.
Right, but they do. There's been fights and arguments. It's like any relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. But it's not like there's like a couple coaches getting called out now.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm actually kind of worried about my Flyers coach, because you could see he has that high intensity when he gets pissed. Obviously, you can't hear him because it's all 4-letter words and everything. But I know last year when Hackstall was our head coach, those veterans like Voracek and the older vets liked him because they never stood up to him.
Right.
And I'm not saying mentally putting players down and standing up to them, but it gets their mind right. Like, they say...
Right, sometimes you get put in check.
Yeah.
I mean, guess what it's going to be is offsides. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2,
Exactly.
3.
Yeah.
What the hell's bothering me?
Or-
Voracek, could you not do that again? Like,
Or they're going to have to go into the freaking...
they're going to have to do another penalty box for coaches.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh. I didn't understand him. I am offended. I'm not offended. I'm offended.
Are you making fun of me? Are you making fun of me?
My third cousin has a speech impediment.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Listen,
I mean,
there's got to be some kind of balance and equality. I know it's a workplace, but you're playing a high-profile sport, and I think you need a little thicker skin.
and I just hope that these coaches that may have, and I'm doing air quotes, crossed the line,
Right.
don't get fired for saying, dumbass, like,
Right.
for stupid words,
Right.
not the N-word, not
But
racial
if you're
slurs.
doing something personal like that, like racial slurs or,
Yeah. Then
you
I think they need to
right.
be fired.
And I mean, I can go as far as the physical, too. Nobody should be putting your hands on you.
Yeah. Now,
Or kicking people in the buttocks.
you leave it a mark. But
He hit me right here in the buttocks.
So let me ask you this, though. Should it be flat out, let's just say, kicked them in the buttocks? Should it be a flat out firing, or do you think NHL should step in and be like, no, you're suspended for this many games without pay?
I think it's got to be a collaboration between the team and the NHL. Because how's it, it's got to be how they want to deal with it.
Because if you think about it, okay, if you're going to fire a coach for, you dumbass, how would you handle if the player looked at the coach and be like, you dumbass, why don't you put this guy out there?
Well, right. But again, it's never going to be a two-way street.
But
So-
I know the world's not right, but it should be. It should be
Right, in a perfect world.
Yeah.
I don't know how you police that. That's... Again, it's something with sports anymore that we're always talking about a subject that, to me, it's like, why are we even talking about this?
Yeah. This should be something that should have been handled behind closed doors.
So, yeah, I mean, that was a interesting topic that we got into. I forget how, like I said, how far. I believe it was like in the very beginning of the hockey season. So, but that's going to be it for today. We will be back, me and Shoulders together, on Thursday morning. So you can check us out there, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. We try to get the episode out. But before we go, head over to Twitter. Follow us there at ST Sports Podcast. Like and share our Facebook page, as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel. Head over to staytunesports.net. You can find merchandise there. And on the right-hand side, underneath all of our social media icons and where you can hear us, is a Fanatics banner. So if you're looking for a birthday gift or any type of gift for anyone, really, it can't be just a father or son, it could be a daughter, a wife. Click on that. It'll take you right to their website, and they have a lot of cool collectible stuff, as well as jerseys and hoodies and stuff like that. So until next time, this is your good friend Jimbo, signing out.